Good afternoon, you guys. I bet you didn't know that my first video would be at work. I actually normally leave and go do some work elsewhere, so I decided I would use this time and be productive. Tonight, I promised to upload a YouTube video. So we're going to be transparent. We're going to talk. And one of the questions that was dropped to me, because I told you we'll do a Q&A. I didn't say we're going to answer everything in one night, but we're going to start out doing a Q&A. So one of the things was something about me. Somebody wanted to know what hair products I use, and what's my favorite movie. And then we're gonna switch to a topic. Um, well, truthfully, you guys, I don't use hair grease. Oil Sheen every blue moon, but there is really no hair products that I use. I'm just a faithful member of the bonnet crew. Like I keep my hair tied up a lot, me and the girls. I may use a little edge control at times, but I don't use a lot of hair products because it weighs your hair down and I feel like I'm dirty a little bit. So I don't. I really don't. That's the truth. I don't really use any hair products. When I feel my scalp is getting dry, there is a oil sheen, a basic oil sheen that I use as Isoplus. It's nothing expensive. It's nothing that you can't afford. That's a simple question out of the way, and let's jump to the topic. One of the topics that young ladies oftentimes ask me is value yourself. Like, how do I value myself? How do I not feel like I'm less than the next person? So, this is how you value yourself. First off, I'll tell you guys when I grew up, I was called ugly. I was told I had a big nose. And I would hear the gossip, I would hear the talk, but it never fazed me because I don't know, I just never cared about people's opinion of me. But this day we're living in now, with people's opinion and people trying to be so petty and unnecessary, the littlest, smallest things, people will try to joke the next person if the person can afford what they got or the person is less fortunate than they are. Miss Collins have bought everything from the cheap weave to the expensive weave. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do believe in valuing yourself. You first have to learn to love every flaw about your body. You have to learn to love you. Not because you're in a relationship, you dress up or you look good. Not because you're trying to impress people, but you got to learn to wake up and impress yourself. Like, I want to look like somebody. I want to look like I look good. I'm not gonna say that I'm always dressed up, but for the most part, you're not gonna catch me in the store in my PJs and my bonnet. Unless, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm totally sick and I don't feel well and I need something for my children, hey, sometimes it is what it is. But for the most part, I try to keep myself together. I try to look like somebody. I try to look decent. And I always tell my children, kids aren't like adults. You can buy kids a whole lot of new clothes, a whole lot of things. They don't get it yet. And for the people that is quick to judge people, children, because they don't look up to par, be careful. Because sometimes the kids or people don't look like you look or not always dress. It's not because the parent. Sometimes kids are just not, they're just not dressy. They're not stuck into labels. You're trying to keep up. They're not. And that's cool. They'll get it later. Because I honestly used to be a straight tomboy. Yep, I know. I used to keep up with Jordan. I used to keep up with the latest tennis shoes. I used to skip school to go get the latest shoes. But the older I got, the more responsibilities I began to have, I learned that keeping up with modern day stuff wasn't adding no value to me. There's a thing in life called assets and liability. Am I bringing in stuff that's going to grow who I am and make me better or make such and such like me more? No, because you can walk around in a $10 pair of shoes, $2 pair of shoes, and a $300 pair of shoes. Doesn't make me treat you any different. I treat people according to how they perceive themselves to be off on me. You value yourself by waking up in the morning, finding something that you really, really love about yourself. And you say to God and you say to yourself and you say to people that no matter what people think, you don't have to tell me I'm cute. You don't have to tell me I'm beautiful because I already know that I look good. Like, some people are so quick to say, oh, she ain't all that. He ain't all that. Well, boo boo, fact check. None of us is all that. We all flawed. We all are flawed. None of us are, snap. And that goes to show you because you got celebrities that paying money to look better. And some of them are already beautiful, already handsome, but they pay to try to keep people happy who don't even matter. At some point, you have to say to yourself, you know what? I used to suck my thumb. I used to have a bad lisp. So if my smile or my whatever about me isn't like hers, that's fine. That's something I created. That's something who I am. I yet love myself. Um, my cheekbones. A lot of people may find them very beautiful, very attractive. I used to really have an issue with how high my cheekbones were. I just felt like my face was like extra big, or like, what if I didn't have such high cheekbones? But the older I got, every piece of me I learned to love. I learned to fall in love with myself. I learned to get up in the morning and say to myself daily, like, you are beautiful. You look good. You smell good. You got it, but you can't be. Here's the value in yourself. You can't look good and be nasty. I don't care how much you think you got it together. If you have a nasty attitude, if you have just this thing about you that you're not approachable, if you anti, be anti, but don't make other people's life salty and make them feel like they're out of line for loving and valuing their self. There's a difference between being conceited and being confident. Let's be clear. Conceited is someone that it's all about them. Every time you see them, it's just, I'm that chick, I'm this, I'm that. Confidence is, I don't need you to elevate me. I don't need you to ever make my light shine. With or without you, boo. I know who I am. I know I'm the jump. So that's valuing yourself. That's valuing knowing where your standards are. And the moment you begin to, and I'm going to tell you guys something, this is truth. And I'm not going to church you guys on the videos. I really am not. But there will be some snippets. Well, I love Jesus. I love God. And that's just who I am. But I had to tell God at some point in my life to deliver me from people. And when I asked God to deliver me from people, what I was asking God to, their thoughts, their ways, their hidden agendas, their fake love. So when things happen, I wasn't shocked. I don't be amused anymore. My daughter look at me sometimes, and when people say friends so loosely, it's like, that's your friend? So I correct my kids a lot of times in our conversations, and I say, that's not your friend. That's your associate. Well, mama, I can have some friends. You're right, you can. But babe, get to know people. Get to see those people that's trying to build you up. Those people that's going to bring value to your life. Anything in your life that's going to bring you stress, that talks about you, that's not bold enough to tell you when you're wrong, that's not a friend. And a real friend would never sit at a table and allow other people to degrade you, to talk about you. When they bring you stuff that somebody else said, I can promise you the friend sitting there wasn't sitting there quiet either. Values come in so many different forms. It's so many points that I could add to this, from how you carry yourself, the things you accept. Stop letting boys, men's, whatever, stop letting these mates carry you in a way that you don't deserve. If you know you're being 100 and you know that you're not cheating and you know that you're giving your all, why are you begging them to text, call for time? Anything a person wants, they will make time for. If you don't get nothing else out of that, get that. The value comes in when you learn to understand what do not work, what do not love you and treat you good. something else to come along. God will bless something else to come along that's sweeter, that's gooder, that's better, that's more valuable, that's more sweeter, more honest, more reliable. Unstable, I can't deal. And sometimes you will end up being with someone who will make you not value who you are. And sometimes parents have to be careful. You parents, be careful on degrading your children, because your child may not be super smart. Your child may not have it all together. Your child may not be perfect, but that's your child. That's your baby. And you love them. You speak life into them. When they're wrong, tell them they're wrong. When they're right, you tell them they're right. But more than anything, you build them up every day. So when the world tear them down, that's enough hate. That's enough greed. They don't need in-home to tear them down. They have enough haters. They have enough troubles. Children are actually carrying more responsibility, more things on their shoulder these days than they really should have to. We as adults, we have a community. We just living point blank, period. We got to do better. Relationships are the way they are because people accept what they accept. Stop making excuses for sorry people. Stop making excuses for people that's not ready to grow. Stop making excuses for people who are not ready to be committed. You got to know where you want to be. What do I want out of this? Is this really aligned with what I asked God? And if it's not aligning up with what I asked God, that's how some of your issues occur, because you're accepting exactly what you told God you didn't want. If it's speaking negative in your ear and you know, I think I'm beautiful, I think I'm okay, I'm not perfect, but I think I'm okay, then this person comes along and every chance they get, they're tearing you down. Nothing you do is right. Nothing you say is right. Your hair ain't right. Your face ain't right. This ain't right. That ain't right. You need to take a step back. You need to figure out, is this person really for me, or I'm just a convenience? Am I working on behalf of something that they need at the moment? I'm filling a void, pretty much. Because when a person really loves you, a person really likes you, that's from parent, job, and relationships, you tend to take care. You tend to show. I'm not a big person on words. Like, you can tell me all day, I love you. It sounds good. But at what point does that person feel the love? I shouldn't have to ask you to call and check on me. I shouldn't have to ask you how you doing. And sometimes a woman shouldn't have to ask a man, can I have this or that to get my nails or hair done? You love her enough. You know what she needs. Sometimes just say, babe, you know what? Just take this money and go take care of yourself. Just have a date. Because honestly, the world have built some women up, and some men too. The world have hurt and built some people up so strong that I don't care if they were down to their last penny. They're not going to open their mouth and ask for help. Because some people will do things and they will make you feel so little that it make you rethink everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever done, anything you've ever asked them for. So you love yourself. Love yourself enough to know, I want greater. I want better than where I come from. Where I came from is something I never want to repeat. And I look good. The picture all looks good. I did a demonstration with my students a couple weeks ago. The picture all looks good. I've been molested. I've ran away. I've been in a domestic relationship before. I've been divorced before. So what does hurt look like? If I look like this, and you're judging her or him because of what they look like, somebody tell me what it looks like when you got it all together. None of us do. You learn every day to pick up the pieces, to take those blocks that have been thrown at you. And day by day, I build. to say, I don't want history to repeat itself. I don't want to beg for love. I don't want unwanted love. I don't want to be somewhere that I'm not wanted. And sometimes you don't understand what a person has been through, and you don't understand some of their actions because you don't know the story. You don't know the story before you arrived. So I'm real leery when we go visit people, or I see people, or I don't go to people's houses too often. I think you guys, I swear to you, the only person I visit in the world is my uncle. And people don't understand it. My thing is, you've had doors shut in your face so many times, and you've been in positions as a child, and you were there, but you were not welcomed there, or you didn't feel welcome. I'll say that. When you grow older, all you want to do is never to repeat what happened again. Violating my space when I went through my little molestation, whatever I went through in life growing up, it makes me question. I question so much. I'm very standoffish, but I've learned to love. I'm very protective of women and girls on what they accept, because sometimes what you accept is very connected to what you got going on. And if you come from a struggle, and if you come from hurt, why grow up and be an adult or be an older child and accept hurt, and you grew up in hurt? You're repeating what mama did. You're repeating what grandma did. Grandma might didn't know no better. But when I watched my mom get beat, when I watched my mom fight, I knew one thing. I told myself when I was about 8, 9 years old, I would never ever talk to a man that disrespected me and put his hands on me. I don't care what I lost. Don't care what I lost. Don't care. Move from county to county, country to country with nothing but my clothes on my back. I will not be in a situation where I'm not welcome. That's in disrespect. That's in not being loved. That's in not being valued. We only accept what works for us, what makes us better. Stop picking up the crumbs when you can have the whole entree, ladies. Men, adults, you can have it all, but we're selling for the crumbs. We're selling for, he my boo, and he called me every now and then. I've been there. But how does that hurt? How does that help you? Like, what is that doing for you? Are you teaching your children that it's okay to be temporary love, to be temporary fix? No, that's not what I want. So every day I die more to me, a whole lot more to me. And I ask God to make me closer to Him. Closer to Him means that I'll do things that it may not feel good. I'll do things that even though I may think He's nice, and even though I may think this situation sounds good, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I've learned that my peace of mind, my self-improvement, my progress on where I come from is way better than being liked by thousands and millions. People like people for the wrong reasons. People like people because they can dress. Y'all, I got a whole baby daddy that can dress to the T, wearing nothing but labels. But I got a whole child he ain't never took care of. Told y'all we gonna be real. My value as a single mom is to do better, show them better, live better. And it starts with you. It starts with giving up the things that you don't want to give up. It starts with doing things that you don't want to do. I always tell children, once you've been touched, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop wanting, desiring, thinking you need to have sex. You need to be with this person. You gotta date this person. They dogging you, but you don't fell in love, and he your first, and this and the third. Baby girl, baby boy, it's never too late to gain self respect and self value and have some standards. It's never too late. We all don't slipped and slide and sloped, but at some point, grab yourself, grab a tight hold, and at all costs, do better. Do better for you. Do better for what you're asking God for in the future. Do better for what you want connected to you. I oftentimes hear people say, I don't do mess. I don't do mess. I don't like drama. But every time some drama come up, you involved. You're connected. You're not talking, but all of your friends are. So if you're not part of the problem, you're the source. And if you're going to be the source, stop saying you don't do mess. When you co-signing on mess, stop saying you don't do mess. When you know that a person posts and says things that's negative towards somebody every day. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, tell you about Tarnisha. I post randomly thoughts and biblical stuff and inspirational stuff. Never shots at anybody because I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I've always been the one that if I have something to say, I'll say it to you. I'm not gonna say it about you. I'm gonna say it to you. We grown, right? So the older and the more I'm getting into this, people inbox me and talk to me about life and you influenced me and you did this and you did that. That was my whole point. That was my whole point. To encourage someone that you could do better. Or even if this is me, I want to grow from this. I don't want to be stuck here. And there's been times that I really, really like to be friends with somebody. I really like the person. But because of what they're connected to, it didn't work. It didn't work because it wasn't me. When I say it wasn't me, I didn't want people to think, I don't dislike you. I ain't got no problem with you. I ain't beefing with you. I'm not going to make a post on you. I'm not going to co-sign on nothing. So I had to learn that sometimes even those people that we think are cool, that we think are genuinely friendly, or we think, you can go out to eat with her or you can laugh and shut the jive with her. It caused me to be alone so many times because of my values and what I do. I've done wrong. I used to have a terrible attitude. Horrible. When I grew up, I used to say something to me, I was ready to throw down. It was nothing for me. And that's who my brothers are. You can't get it twisted with them. You can't. I'm the church form. But y'all, I got some fools that I'm connected to. So I try to lay under the radar and I try to be the better person because I even try to help them grow. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. Just because you feel it doesn't mean you have to act on it. Your self-value, your loving yourself and your self-worth starts to build when you understand what's important, what's not important, what's beneficial, what's not beneficial, what's going to help me, what's not going to help me. If you worrying about why everybody don't like you, check yourself. Stop pointing fingers at everybody else and let's do some self-evaluations. There are some things Tarnisha had to work on, still working on. And there are some things we all have to learn to work on from day to day. Like I said, I love to post. I love to encourage people. I love to inspire people. So I ask my students, I ask the young girls, what do you want me to talk about? And I know sometimes the hate is so real. But ladies, it ain't no competition out here for real. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm just going to keep it all the way 100. You ain't got no competition. The only competition is you when you look in your mirror. You're competing with yourself daily to be better than you were the day before. So yesterday, if you wasn't feeling it today, Be in a better mood. Wake up, look good for yourself, not for no dude, not for no girl, not for the clique, not for none of that. Look good for yourself. And even on your worst day, pull your hair back in a ponytail. That's the simplest hairstyle you can do. Pull your hair back in a ponytail, put some lip gloss on, and tell yourself, you know what? I used to didn't think I was beautiful. I used to didn't think I looked that good. But I'm okay. And every day, you're going to find yourself understanding that what you thought was bad is not so bad at all. Let people talk. A lot of people that talk, they talk because they either want to be you or they don't have what you have. We can argue it all day. I have never seen a successful, beautiful woman that's already on her throne and already on her way and already grounded. I ain't never seen her checking no other female every day. Never. And I'm connected to some of the most beautiful, grounded, resourceful women I know and men. I don't drop names, whether it's a celebrity or not. I don't drop names, but I'll say this. It's crazy how the most people that you admire and got room to say, yeah, I'm that chick. They're like, no, boo. I'm at the bottom still trying to make it. But you get those people who don't have it, who already think they've arrived. So understand that whatever you want, whatever you desire to be, whatever you desire to grow into, and you want to change, and if it's something that you were doing, you want to make better, do that. You ain't got to broadcast it. Everything you feel, you ain't got to put it on the book. Honey, the book ain't nothing but messy folks waiting on the next story to drop. And I often tell people, nobody have a platform to hate you or to talk about you until you give them one. So if you go on Facebook and you throw somebody's name out or you're talking about somebody, guess what people do? They go right on to your post. You either see the eyeballs or people want to know. And they got a right to, people are inquisitive. Ain't nothing wrong with being inquisitive. They want to know. Everybody loves mess sales. Mess sales, drama sales, because it's nothing in it. It's no substance in it. And there's so many miserable people in the world. I hate to say it, but it's real. There is so many miserable people in the world. That's how so many people, when something made something headline and you sitting there scratching your head like, this just went viral. Why? This person just made it this far. How? It's not because of who they were. It's basically because of what they did. You'll see a woman with her whole butt cheek out get 1,000 views. And you'll see a woman with 5 or 6 kids that just graduated with all kind of degrees, maybe get 20. Where in society have we gotten it twisted? But you can't get caught up in the hype. You have to know for yourself who you are and whose you are. And for those that don't go to church, I'm sorry, but you got to know. Like, you really have to know this for yourself. Can't nobody make me feel like I'm the bottom of the barrel but me. Can't nobody tell me I'm not a good parent because I already told myself I am a good parent. No parent is perfect. But I toot my own horn because God has been good to me. God have kept me. So when people wonder, man, you're just so amazing, you're this, you're that, it's not me, boo. When I tell you God has been real, He kept me. Like, there are times that I used to be caught up in what people thought, what people wanted me to be. I had to grab a hold of what I was supposed to be, what God had destined for me and my children. And wait, I'm supposed to be in a relationship. Hurry up and get married. Hurry up and do this because you have children. It looks better. No, it don't. No, it don't. Wait until you have that mate that God has sent you so that you guys can build together. Because there you are rushing to get into a marriage to make the church folks or the people happy, but the people not living your life. The people not waking up to your misery. The people not hearing the stuff that you got to hear and going through the troubles and the issues that you got to go through from day to day. The older I get, and I'm 37 young, but the older I get, I'm learning there is nothing like a peace of mind. I sit there and I wonder, like, this person got all this going on and they still jealous. Why? You can have more than the next person and you still hating. Why? I'm so sick and tired of these young girls not thinking that they're enough if their behind is not big enough, if their breast is not big enough, if their hair don't lay a certain way. Baby, you can be flat in the back. Have some standard and some values, and you can get any man in this world that you want. It's not about the curves. It's not about how she look. It's not about how she walk. It's not about how many inches she got. I can have 2 inches of hair one day, 12 inches tomorrow, 26 inches next week. This life, we can pay for what you want. That's the world we in now. So don't get it twisted. We all fighting the same struggle and trying to win the same war, a life. This thing called life. You want to do better? Drop those bad habits. Drop those connections that does not agree with where you're going and what you want. You can't say you want somebody with standards and you don't have any. You can't say you want a classy person. You're not classy. I often tell people there's a difference between a bad bee and a woman. A woman probably gonna live a boring life that ain't gonna do a whole lot like me, because by the time I go to church, I go to work, I sew a few things, take care of my children. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want nobody to come to visit me. I go home, I grab a book, or I may look at social media for a few minutes and watch TV, but it's not long before I'm off to sleep because I don't have much time before I have to get up again. So, the bad chick, she's out here trying to get it together. She's trying to look good. She's trying to be bad. She's trying to keep up with the latest style. She's trying to get the dude with the rims. She's trying to get the dude with the latest fashion and cars. Baby, I don't see people with 2018 broke. It's nothing. I'm telling you not what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. Grab somebody with some standards and some values. I don't mind a person going through as long as we go through together and we understand that we're not going to stay here. We're going to build. As long as you understand that you don't have to have it all, but you need to have something. You have to have determination to do better. That's all. I know I can't put it all in one video, you guys. This first video have been so refreshing. It's been amazing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was kind of nervous. I was kind of scared. I didn't know how this was going to go. I was like, where's the time? Like, I got stuff to do after work. But you know what? God said, use your time wisely. Use this time to do what you need to do. You said you was going to do it. Be a woman of your word. Walk in what you said, and then I'll make the rest happen. So you guys, I'm going to try to hit you guys up at least 2-3 times a week. Bring the questions, bring the Q&As, bring the topics, whatever you want to talk about, then I can talk about it. And I'm just an open book, you guys. There is no secret. Everybody know who I am, and for those around the world who are getting to know me, I'm just Miss Collins. I teach. I love my children. I love all children. I love people. I love anybody that wants to do greater, anybody that wants to make it. I love people that motivates other people. And I love people and women that can straighten up another woman's crown without, throwing shade. There is no need. There's enough for all of us. Tell you the truth, is so much still left out there.